Nobody's listening, right? Hi, Andy.
Hello.
Is anybody listening?
Yeah, let's see. This is from Aswain76. Leave it to Elizabeth to take me from laughter to tears in a matter of seconds. I miss my mom, too. Love your podcast. You two are a joy.
Oh, that is so nice.
That's very, very sweet.
Thank you.
Quick little housekeeping thing. We posted a video on Instagram. It was a moment from the podcast. Maybe it was the week before last where you were in an aisle at a grocery store sucking something up into your body. We were talking about Rouse tomato sauce, right?
Yeah.
And somebody on Instagram said, oh my gosh, that's how you pronounce it. I have an update for all of us, friends.
Oh, no.
We've been pronouncing it incorrectly.
What?
It's Rayo's. It's
No.
like a famous New York restaurant in East Harlem.
Whoa, Vinny, you gonna go over to Rayo's?
Yeah, and so I heard it recently. I heard someone say like Rayo's, and I was like, oh, I wonder if that's that thing. And I did the research. I did the deep dive. I saw the owner say it.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna have to pivot. It's Rayo's.
I can't.
No, you have to. This is something you can't. Now that I know what it is, because here's the problem. You're going to keep saying Rouse, right?
Uh-huh.
There has been a case where we've had guests over and they've been like, what's that sauce? And you're like, Rouse? It's a great sauce that you can get at the store.
I love Rouse. It's pricey, but worth it.
Right. It's Rayo's because you don't want to keep
perpetuating.
That's the word. You don't want to keep perpetuating it. So
I'm going to have a very hard time getting on board with Rayo's.
I'll tell you what I'm not going to have a hard time with. Correcting you every time.
Okay. Did you know it's Oreos?
Oreo cookies?
Yeah.
It's not,
Did you know
not
that?
even funny and it's not even true.
Then why are you laughing?
Because it's like, it's worse than a dad joke.
Okay.
Wow. So yeah, so that's big. Let's just get all the housekeeping out of the way. Let's do your little housekeeping and I got a little housekeeping.
Okay, stop saying housekeeping.
Housekeeping. Housekeeping.
Stop. If anyone wants to support the show, well, you're already supporting us by listening. So thank you for that. You can support us further on patreon.com/nobody's listening right. You'll get a not free, actually, it's a subscription. But a bonus monthly episode plus our 800 to 1,000 back episodes of podcasts.
Thousands of hours.
And another way to support us, leave the reviews. We love the reviews. I noticed.
You just sounded like Trump. We love the reviews. Leave the reviews.
Good. I'd love to be compared to
you should
that
have
our nation's great leader. Just kidding. That's a joke. Obviously. You also can support us by spreading the word. Word of mouth. Wow. We love word of mouth. So tell your friends about us. I, again, don't know how to pitch us. It's a show where these people who are married talk about mostly their health and
buckle in.
Raging against neighborhood issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great. Other update. Also, I noticed today and yesterday we posted a video on Instagram at Nobody's Listening Right about perfume talk that we had last. I have a big update. So I saw lots of people were like, you gotta order the dupes. What was the name of the perfume that you liked?
Baccarat Rouge.
540.
540.
Which has to do with like the temperature that gold melts at or something. Oh. And that there is gold in it for real or something crazy like that. But you got a lot of people that were like, dupes. Got to get the dupes.
Yes.
And you got a dupe, right?
I did. I got the dossier dupe.
Now.
Which still was $50. Like,
I saw someone write that they're ethical dupes. What would that mean?
No. Are there unethical dupes?
Probably, which I'm guessing, does that mean they're like testing on toddlers and stuff?
The tiny little hands are shaving the faux gold filings into it. I don't know.
Well, I got something for you, my love. Dun, dun, dun,
No.
I
No.
got you an official sample of Maison Francis Kurkdjian Paris Baccarat Rouge 540 Eau de Parfum. Here you go. Check this out.
What?
Please do not spray it in here, and I'll get to why. Just take a peek at it, okay?
Okay. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
If you want, do you want to sniff of
a-
it? Because I have a sample out in the other room I can grab so you can just smell it if you want to smell it.
For
real quick.
anyone, yeah, I do want to smell it.
Okay.
For anyone, this is a tiny little sample squirter, but honestly, that's all you need sometimes. A graphic and highly condensed signature, this eau de parfum lays on the skin like an amber floral and woody breeze.
Take a whiff and let me know, and then I want to get it out of here.
Interesting.
Maybe not what you remembered? Or I'll get
Not-
the mic.
Not quite how I remember it, but everyone's body chemistry reacts differently. That girl in the wine store, I feel like she has amazing body chemistry. Like any perfume she put on would be amazing. So
Did she have an amazing body?
well, I'm going to say yes. I don't even know what that means, but everything about her was amazing. She was wearing like a cool oversized sweater. By the way, I was laughing because the video you posted of us,
Yeah.
the way the girl is dressed,
Yeah.
she's supposed to be this like obviously wealthy, very like so stylish, but
Yeah.
cool stylish, like Silver Lake hipsters, cool.
Yeah.
And what was on there looks like what my like great aunt Mary Frances would imagine a hipster is dressed like.
Well, I was on like one of the stock footage sites that I use, and I wanted to find someone that there were multiple images, right? I only ended up using one image, but there were multiple images of that girl, and I think I put in like hipster, and then you had said pop a color, and I was like, she'll do, and because there are different poses of her.
She'll do.
That's why I needed multiple poses, but I didn't end up using it.
And God bless you, you didn't make me look like the trash bag that I was feeling like that day.
You look great.
You dressed me well in that video.
Looked like an outfit that you would wear, honestly.
So let me ask you something. Where did you get this?
Yes. So let's get back to the perfume for a minute. Last week, in case nobody knows what we're talking about, you were in a store. You smelled a woman. She smelled good. You asked her what she was wearing. She kind of might have looked down on you and said what this was, which is Baccarat Rouge 540.
Yeah.
I had some health stuff, which I'm sure we'll get to,
Yeah.
over in Beverly Hills.
Yes.
After that, I went to this delicatessen. There's some Jews over there in Beverly Hills. They got some delicatessens.
Yeah.
So I went to this delicatessen, and then it was about a block and a half from Neiman Marcus. So I was like, I'm going to go into Neiman Marcus and see if they have samples of this. Let me bring you up to speed real quick. She might have rolled her eyes at you just because you didn't know what the scent is. This is the thing right now.
Well, apparently
it's
there's so
big.
many dupes. Everyone seemed to know about it.
Yeah, it's a big
Saint
thing.
Monica herself, her own mother, wears this.
Right.
I mean,
There is a huge section just dedicated to this brand
Wow.
and their perfumes. I roll in there looking like an idiot, which we'll get to later.
yes.
And I just went for it, and I was like, "Do you guys have any samples of this one?" And I pointed to the perfume one, and he's like, "Let me look." And he grabs it, and I go, "Is this stuff like pretty popular?" Because I was kind of thrown by how big it was. Like they had their own section at the store, And he's like, "Oh yeah, this is huge." And then for my own curiosity, because when I was making the video about this, there's the de perfume, and then there's extract de perfume.
Yes, great.
So I wanted to know about that. So, and the two bottles are next to each other, and the extract looks a little cooler. It's all red bottle as opposed to the which is just a red label. And I'm a curious cat, right? And so I was like, what's the difference between this? And this guy, he just grabs the extract bottle, grabs my arm.
Oh, no.
And before I can say no, I'm wrapped up in this and spritzes that. And he's like, this one's a little bit spicier. And he's like, I like this one on men a little bit more. But the main difference is just the concentration of it, right?
Okay.
But I guess it is a unisex fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
But so he sprays it on me. And let me tell you, I went to the bathroom afterwards to try to get some of it off. And then that was a long drive home with that fragrance, and I didn't want you to smell it on me, or I thought it would be funny if you smelled it on me and I denied it. You never noticed it. I was giving you purposeful hugs with my arm up on your shoulder, and you never noticed it because I thought you would be like, it would be a real mind fuck. Like,
yeah, what the fuck?
But anyways, I got you the sample. You got a dupe on the way.
We'll compare. We'll do a sniff test comparison between the dupe and the real thing.
So are you you think put a little bit on for the party we're going to tomorrow, maybe?
Oh, hell yes.
A little bit goes a long way, I found.
Okay.
Like, I couldn't even have the card in here right now because it made an impression on me.
So do you not like it now?
I don't know.
Did you get, this is a terrible turn of events if going to get this
here's the interesting
turned
thing.
you off of the set.
You smelling it right now, you seemed a little disappointed when you smelled the
No,
card,
no.
like it might not be the thing.
No, not disappointed at all. I just need to put it on. Yeah. Every perfume smells different on everyone.
Yeah. But
God help us, I just hope I have the same chemistry as that woman.
Like, she rolled her eyes because I think she was like, you don't know what smell this is?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you're kind of basic.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she was too. But it's expensive basic.
Jesus. It is a little bit of a bummer that I found my scent. Mm-hmm. First of all, it's so expensive. That's not that surprising. I feel like I have expensive taste sometimes. Mm. But that I found my scent thinking, ooh, this is my scent. And it turns out it's everyone's scent.
Right. Well, it's not everyone's, but it is having a moment, as they say.
Well,
or maybe it's been having a moment for a while, but it's a thing. That's the thing. You didn't find the niche, people in the know.
This is like Kai when we were in our early 20s. Kai was this oil scent that everyone wore and it was too sweet for me, but I of course went on that ride, but it had its moment. But what I love about this is that it is unisex, and it's not I do think even smelling whatever, maybe it's the card that was in here, it smells nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Thank you for that.
You're
That's
so
sweet.
welcome. We'll keep everybody updated.
Today's kind of an update episode, which might be annoying for people who are just finding us. But apparently there's a big car note update.
Yeah. You ready?
I don't know.
Do you want to do car rate update or health update first? Let's do car update. Okay. The 30-second version, in case you have no idea what we're talking about, there was a guy that left a note on my car.
We know it's a guy. We don't know.
We don't know. That said, park in front of your own house. And I've been trying to figure out who left this note on my car forever. The top suspect has been who we're referring to as
Rage Guy.
Rage Guy. Now, why do you consider him Rage Guy?
Well, he's actually very nice, honestly, now that we've kind of broken the barrier, through this car note thing.
We literally kind of broke bread with him.
We broke bread. I call him Rage Guy because I've heard him yelling a lot.
There you go. That'll do it.
So there you go.
Okay, so.
And that's been confirmed by other people.
Other people, yeah.
People who don't even live really right near us.
Know about this.
Yeah.
I was walking with those said people, actually, back from school, after school morning drop-off. Rage Guy was parked in the spot where I think I got the note.
Okay.
There are two spots where I could have been when I got this note. So he's parked there. He's crossing the street. He's getting in his car to leave. Now, you know where that spot is.
Yeah.
Right? And it's facing away from, let's call it, getting to, the main way out of the neighborhood, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So he does, a UE 3-point type turn. Right?
Okay.
Which I've done before. I'm sure you've done before.
Yeah.
Not the safest place to do that. You got to really look, but there's stop sign. It's doable, but you got to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah.
Right? Anytime you do that kind of a turn.
Sure.
it was a busy morning on these streets, so much that we commented on it because we were having a hard time crossing the street, the people I was with. So it was just humming for some reason, all these cars.
Mm-hmm.
Rage guy goes and gets in his car. He goes to attempt.
Did you say hi?
No. We weren't.
Too far away.
Too far away. Yeah. He's in his car and he goes to do that move. Let's call it the U-turn / 3-point turn thing. And there's traffic. And so someone tooted at him. Okay?
Tooted.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I wish I could honestly say what the spirit of the honk was, because sometimes you can feel with the duration like this is a.
I like to do a beep beep.
Yeah, like a beep beep versus like, hey, just so you know, like, what are you doing? We're coming this way. Versus like, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of the fucking way situation, you idiot, right?
Yes.
I really think it was more on the lighter side of the like beep beep. This guy doesn't know that there's traffic, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it could have been more aggressive. I don't know. His reaction, though,
oh my God,
was a finger and a roll down the window, fuck you, yelling at the car that honked. Now, bear in mind, he's the one in the wrong here. He's the one in the wrong.
Right.
There is nothing wrong with this other car going with the real flow of traffic.
Yeah.
Probably honking to be like, hey, bro, pay attention.
Yeah.
We're all around here.
Right.
Someone could hit you.
Right.
And his reaction was the finger roll down the window.
And
fuck you at 8 a.m.
Okay, I think we have our culprit.
I don't know if that's a slam dunk.
It's as close as we're going to get.
It feels like it's as close as we're going to get. And the people I was with, they knew about the note story. And so we were all like, oh shit. Case closed.
Case closed.
If nothing else, he earned his nickname.
I feel
nice
better
guy,
about that. So,
maybe with some rage problems.
Bit of a temper. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
I know. I thought you'd like that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm not officially closing the book because if I officially close the book, what else would I have in life? Mm-hmm. But it feels like,
Oh, let's talk about what else you'd have in life. We're both kind of down, and we'll get to your health stuff.
But get to your health stuff.
I just want to do the main thing about my health stuff right now. I did go to the physical therapist for my pelvic floor, which we're listening. Honestly, it should be. I do want to talk to you about. I would love it if you wouldn't sexualize my pelvic.
Pussy PT?
Please.
PPT.
Like you want to hear all about it. You want to hear. I don't even want to talk about the inside stuff yet. Basically, by the way, if I need to switch careers, which I might soon, I think that given
you'd like to get up in there,
given the strike and everything, that job is so in demand. It's kind of like a new thing. Like all of a sudden, women are like, oh, this is an area of my body that should be tended to.
I am listening now. Is this a weird career shift for me moment?
For you? No. Okay.
You don't think there's any men in the field?
Well,
there is that one mountain of a man. That's not. He wasn't a pelvic floor person.
No. Well, he was a chiropractor, but he is like famous in LA.
Yeah.
Dr. Berlin, whatever.
Nice.
Mountain of a man. I didn't like him. I'm going to say
let's get back to your...
Okay.
Sorry.
Long story, still long. Basically, the first step for me is something I learned, which is, my pelvic floor is all out of whack and my like posture's out of whack. Like everything's unbalanced. Mm-hmm. And that your pelvic floor can kind of, one thing it can do is try to overcompensate for if your bladder is irritated.
Okay.
Which she likened it to if your bladder is holding urine that has all of these irritants in it. Mm-hmm. It's like if you're holding mouthwash in your mouth versus water. Like a mouthful of mouthwash. You know, it kind of stings. You want to get it out.
More of a party.
More of a party. But I basically have to eliminate from my diet life. It is coffee.
Yeah.
Alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
Dark chocolate, which I don't really eat that much. Citrus. And like sparkling water or a beverage that has effervescence in it.
Carbonated.
Thank you. I don't really know why that is, and she didn't give me really the why, other than all of these things are like not friendly to the bladder.
Okay.
I have to say,
Yeah.
I'm about to whine. So I'm 2 days off of coffee.
Yeah.
I'm so depressed without it. Like, coffee gives me a reason to live.
There is
it's like,
listen,
I don't know.
if I can
And
give
then
you any,
no alcohol either. These are like my circadian rhythms. I mean, not that I drink every night, but knowing that there's a drink
every
once or
night.
twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
Not every night. I
Yeah.
don't do that.
Okay.
How often do I drink? Be honest.
Probably about 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
Twice a week?
I'd say twice a week.
Okay.
Generally speaking. On
Yeah.
a like big week, maybe 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. That's not here nor there.
Right.
Just the coffee.
Well,
Like-
when was the last time you got off coffee?
I mean,
Did
maybe
you do it for pregnancy?
maybe when I was. Did I?
I don't remember.
Is that something you're supposed to get off of?
I think so.
Oh.
I don't.
I don't remember, but it feels like never. It feels like I've never in my life not had coffee unless I was extremely ill.
Well, so this might be a really rough week,
Yeah.
but
That
you
first
might.
sip back when I get back on
No,
it.
I don't know. There is also a world where you might get on the other side and be like, "Oh my God, I feel so much better without the coffee caffeine."
Maybe.
So at least maybe think of that. At least that's maybe the silver lining.
Yeah, I just got to get over this hump. But I will say, it's tough. Like, it's weird how much those little joys in life like affect you. Knowing you can't have it is, I mean, honestly, my heart goes out to like addicts and alcoholics who it would be really hard to be like, oh, I never get to have that again.
Mm-hmm.
I see why it's one day at a time and all that stuff. Anyway, so that's me, but not that big of a deal. Obviously, I'm working towards a solution.
So cutting that stuff out of your diet helps. Then you're also doing PT in there.
Yeah.
And then is there anything else?
There's like internal
Okay.
stuff. Then there's like external. There's a little gym area and there are like little exercises I'm starting to do.
Inside?
No, outside.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Meaning like pelvic tilts and
And
I need to build up my core.
What's the
Apparently,
what's the ultimate
she said a
goal?
few things. She goes, "Wow, you don't move much, do you?" I was like,
Really?
Fuck. And then she did this test to test how strong my core is, which is like you basically are sitting and you lean forward and you have your arms crossed or something, and she pushes against you. She's like, "Don't let me push you." And she was like, "Okay, we have our work cut out for us."
Really?
Yeah.
Did you kind of at least, were you like, I'm really flexible though?
Well,
Did you get to throw that in? Because you are flexible.
but I'm not anymore because I think after the spine surgery, I've kept everything so.
Oh, were you at least able to use the spine surgery thing? Like, hey, I had spine surgery recently.
Well, she knew that. Yeah.
Okay, because I'm just like, it feels like she threw a couple digs, and I just want to stand up for you a little bit.
Well, it's both a dig and it's also really good to know. Like, oh, I guess I don't move that much.
And she,
I guess we have our work cut out for us.
yeah, see, that feels pretty aggressive in the feedback thing.
Well,
And you liked her.
I did like her. She kind of hands you off to someone in the gym area.
Not for inside stuff,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
outside
yeah.
stuff?
Yes.
Okay.
And
She's the only one that handles inside
yes,
stuff?
Yes. And so the
I have a real picture of who she hands you off to. 'Cause
Who is it?
This is like someone that's 26, ponytail, just real sweet. That's all I got.
very close. I would say even younger.
Okay, my gut was 22. Should I have said 22?
Yes.
Damn it.
And it did feel a little bit, it's sometimes like startling when you're interacting with someone so young that you're like, oh, right. So we're all adults, but like it's a very different type of adult. And she's very sweet, but I need, basically, she went through the exercises, but she was like chit-chatting a lot. And I'm like, I don't have
The
time.
helper or the real person?
The real person goes away.
Yeah.
The helper, she's not a real person. But the helper is like walking you through these exercises. And it is kind of boring. It's like, okay, now stretch this for 5 seconds and then do that 10 times or whatever.
Yeah.
So she's walking me through it. I think she's new. I get the impression. And
making like $22 an hour?
I would hope a little bit more than that here in
24.
LA, maybe. But anyway, very sweet. But like chit-chatting to me. And one of the things she was, I don't even want to go into too much detail. This is, again,
I want to hear this one. Can you give this one detail?
Okay,
your face
she was just
begs.
like, she was talking a lot about like.
Pussies.
No. Stop it, Andy. God.
Sorry.
God.
Yeah.
She was talking a lot about.
Just seems like it'd be on the mind in this place.
We're talking about kids. Kids are on the mind in this place because, that's usually what thrashes that whole section. and she was like, oh, yeah,
Who did this to you?
I did see this thing recently. This is an aside, like a TikTok meme or whatever. And the woman was like, when you realize that everyone in your family has been inside you. It's kind of funny.
Wow.
So inside your body. Okay, so this young woman was talking about kids, and she's like, I can't believe how big they get. And I was thinking she was talking about like the existential thing of like kids do grow up so fast, and in a blink of an eye, they're teenagers. And
no, she's talking about babies coming out of the vagina.
No, stop.
She's not?
Get off
I
the
missed
vagina.
that?
Yes.
What is she talking about?
Well, it turns out.
Just to be clear, I know you're a little annoyed with me, but like that was the right guess, especially after you teed up like she wasn't talking about the existential thing. That was the definite guess.
Okay, what she was talking about was when her nephew, and this was like a couple of years ago, her nephew was born. She went to see him when he was 2 weeks old, and then she went to see him like 3 weeks later. And she couldn't believe how much bigger he had gotten. And it's just chit-chat like that where I'm like, oh, okay, you're talking to women who have all had these babies. Like,
yeah, but hold on. Can we give this person a name?
Mm-mm.
A made-up name?
Carmel.
Okay. Let me be on Carmel's side here and give her some professional.
Of course,
let me give
her
her flowers for a second.
Okay.
A lot of women that are going into this just had the thrashing happen recently from giving birth, right?
Yeah.
So pretty relevant if she's talking about the kids looking like in these first like few months of birth. I think that wasn't that bad of a thing to think. And maybe she thought you recently gave birth.
Okay. She didn't, first of all. She knew my kids' ages.
Anyways, but that's probably, there's a lot of chit chat like that going on.
Here. She's just talking about nonsense to me. I'm like, yes, babies grow. I want to get out of here. Okay. And I also want to get out of here with a game plan. Yeah. Okay. She kind of was like, okay, we're done. So, do those things. And I was like, do those things.
No pamphlet?
Yes. I said, I'm going to need papers.
You said
and
that?
I need you to write it all down. And I felt kind of bad because we were eating into the next person's time.
Okay.
And she seemed kind of nervous writing it.
I bet she was because the clock was ticking.
And she wrote it all down, like not in order. She missed a bunch of them. And so next week I am going to be like, hey, let's write this down as we go. So I know exactly what to do, how many reps.
How do they not have a pamphlet? Yeah. Especially for visit 1.
Yeah. I think this is a newbie.
No, but that's not up to the newbie to have the pamphlet. The real person has to have the pamphlet.
Okay, so that's my update. Let's move on to your health update.
Do you think there would be a market? Okay, when you're in the doctor's office and they've got the gloves, you got your small, medium, large. Sometimes, I don't know if I've seen the XL out there, but they make the XL, obviously. but of gloves that were kind of like honest diapers that had patterns and stuff on them.
Oh, that's
for
cute.
this type of place.
Just this type?
No, any place. Pediatrics would be great.
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Here we go. Andy's Handies.
Andy's Handies.
Your face. We're not really going to start a side hustle.
I will be putting it out to the universe, though. But that's great. Okay, cool.
Okay.
You want to talk about my health stuff? Wait,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, because we literally haven't even had this conversation, which just is embarrassing that I have to ask this on the podcast. I know these visits to the PT were because one side was clenched and like hard, and your posture is messed up and whatnot. They told you. What is the ultimate hope here?
Well, the ultimate hope is to alleviate pain and pressure. So,
And are you having pain?
I also have some prolapse issues that have been there for 9 years, since I had Teddy.
Okay.
And they got worse after Otis. And then they got better enough that it's like I can deal with it. But to be honest, I mean, this is me being it's probably TMI, but it's just you and me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wear a tampon. It's uncomfortable. Stuff is all out of whack down there. And so the goal is to get it all kind of right and tight, but not too tight. Just right tight. Mm-hmm. Right and just right tight.
Right and tight.
It's funny because I've been jonesing I miss sweating during working out. Mostly I've just been walking for the last couple of years, given all of this health stuff.
Yeah.
And I miss a good sweaty workout. I want to lift weights. I'm jonesing for taking a dance class or doing something but I feel like that's.
Your body's not there yet?
Maybe my body's not there yet. Maybe it'll get there after this. But yesterday on Instagram, I came across this young woman who does jump rope. And she just does jump rope dance type stuff.
Sure.
And it's so cool looking. Yeah. And she looks very fit. And I know, back when I was working out with a trainer back in Brooklyn, we did a lot of jump rope stuff. And I love jumping rope. I would love to be able to jump rope again.
I don't think jump rope's your thing. That seems...
Because of all of this?
Yeah, and your spine. I just think if you were going to go into a niche of exercising, the one where you're constantly jumping, I don't know if that's the right move.
Yeah. Well,
I went down a quick jump rope wormhole about a year ago, and there's all these fancy jump ropes, which really spoke to me, but that would have been a waste of money. But they're cool.
They are cool.
But do you know what I mean? I don't know if, but it sounds like you want to
Maybe
sweat. I can make you sweat,
Okay. Andy, God. Can I tell you something? Speaking of sex.
No.
No, I can't?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this. Mm-hmm. You have, we aim to have sex once a week. I would say lately that's slipped to once every week and a half or 2 weeks, right?
Oof, yeah. Okay.
But because of sickness and, my pelvic floor and shit. Okay. But you have it's almost I go through hormonal cycles with my menstrual cycle and my mood shifts dependent on how hormones are. You almost have a sex menstrual cycle where you're I can judge there. An edge comes in for you once we pass the week mark. So when we're around the week mark, which I feel like we are right now, we're
probably closer to the 2 week mark.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
Okay, we can figure this out.
I actually could figure this out. We're at the 12-day mark.
How do you know that?
Because
Where was I? I went out.
Yeah, on Mother's Day. And then you came back after Mother's Day.
Oh, God, my friend I was with. This seems too much information.
Did she listen to the pod? Yes. Well, guess what? After you guys had dinner. Oh, boy.
Okay, so 12 days. So it's interesting.
When did you feel the edge coming on?
Around 8 or 9. But we're actually in the section now that this is further out than I thought it was.
Okay.
where you're very aggressive about like it's clearly on your mind.
I think very aggressive. I said this morning.
No.
I said, hey, I don't know if it's going to happen today. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow, but whenever you want me, I'm yours. I said something like that, which I thought was a very nice way.
No, it is a very nice way. Not aggressive, but meaning like everything is through the lens, like the way you're talking about
it's
the
all
pussy.
I'm thinking about.
Yes.
It's all I'm thinking about.
It does turn into this. And then once we pass a certain threshold, you get really grumpy about shit. And you kind of turn on me. It's almost like the process of like, you know, when you have a crush on someone and you're kind of wooing them and you're trying to like whatever. And then when you realize like, oh, they're not going to reciprocate this crush, kind of this last ditch effort is to almost like be mean to them and be like, well, fuck you then.
Oh, so if I know I'm not going to get it, then I turn on you?
Or if it's been so long. Like, I'd say once we get to the 14th day, I have 2 more days, basically, before this real kind of undercurrent. Now, it's not, you're not really saying fuck you or being mean. It's just this undercurrent of, like... You distance yourself.
You see me give up and retreat.
You retreat.
In disappointment and, like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
That's why I think, you know, we used to have a thing called Sunday Funday, which doesn't work when you have kids anymore.
It doesn't.
Just doesn't work. But yeah, I'm a monster, I guess. I get it. I get I'm a monster.
No, it's just interesting. I mean...
It sounds like if you don't feed the beast once a week, oh boy, look out. Look out.
No.
So that wasn't a nice way to... I thought that was a nice way of...
Hey, Andy.
Yeah.
You're a little jacked up right now.
I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a nice way of saying it. I don't know if it's going to happen today or tomorrow. I don't feel pressured or anything.
Right.
But I'm aware of the timeline anyway. It doesn't matter.
Got it.
So I wasn't saying that was aggressive. I'm just saying like kind of the way you're being right. It's an energy about you.
An aura, a vibe.
Yeah.
And you like it.
Okay.
And it's a turn on. What would be the biggest thing I could do to turn you on today? I'm serious. Is it vacuuming? Is it
doing all of your little bitch work? Folding the laundry?
In filing some insurance paperwork?
Don't worry about it. There's nothing.
I just thought that would lead to a different conversation. I wasn't trying to be like...
You know, I'm also in this headspace without my coffee, without my alcohol.
Oh, I can't have sex if I don't have my coffee.
Okay, well, that's not doing you any favors. God. Okay.
Well, here's another problem I want to say to you, since we're talking about sex and stuff, and this is a segue into my health issue. My health issue is a bit cosmetic.
Yeah.
And I can tell that the cosmeticness of it isn't I'm worried that I'm going to become less attractive to you.
Yeah.
And I realize, so I'll just get into it and maybe we'll circle back to how it relates to sex down the road.
Very curious.
Probably, because it's all I can think about right now. I went to the dermatologist, a new dermatologist, thanks to you.
Yes.
In Beverly Hills. Fancy.
Yes. You want to go, I mean, for good reason.
So I had squam? Do you know how to say it?
No.
Anyway, I had something called Bowen's disease, which is a non-scary type of skin cancer on my nose. Squamish cell? People know what I'm talking about.
It doesn't matter. We keep doing this.
Squamish, squammal. I wish I just knew what it was. Anyways, it was on my nose towards my eyes. What's this area called?
Like the bridge of your nose.
The bridge of my nose. Anyways, I had it taken care of. It was a bit of a bummer. It's the Mohs surgery, M-O-H. Mohs surgery, which is like very effective. Not the surgery itself's not a big deal, but like just having this scar on the side of my nose, the healing didn't go great for me. And it's just on your face. And I was like, God, am I going to look like a monster? It was very red for a long time. I think it's healed pretty well now that we're, 8 months out from it?
Yeah, I do too. I think it's healed pretty well. But what I will say is lesson learned where I'm like, I feel like there should have the way it went down was just like, we're gonna go in, we're gonna hack it out, you're gonna heal.
Yeah. And it was a bad experience with the doctor.
It was a bad experience,
Yeah.
and also anything on your face, like you should be asking the question: should there be a plastic surgeon there?
Right.
Should there be like, what exactly is the care I need to give it while it's healing? You know,
Right.
This is your moneymaker. We're looking at it.
Right. It is my moneymaker? I don't
Your
think
handsome
so.
face?
We'll get to this. That might be relevant. So I had a new thing showing up on the tip of my nose that I went to my old dermatologist like 4 months ago, and they thought it might just be like an acne thing and gave me like benzoyl peroxide or whatever that is. Anyways, I go back and I'm like, this zit thing isn't going away. And they're like, let's just freeze it off and we'll see how it heals. It might be something else. Just a bad experience. So you're like, you got to go see my dermatologist. You got to go.
Yeah.
I go there. The lady walks in, the doctor and the technician, before the doctor even gets there, both of them know it's skin cancer. Like instantly just looking at this.
And it's right on the very
tip of my nose.
tip of your nose.
So this was like, if you got, which knowing what the surgery was involved before, the idea of getting this on the tip of my nose, I'm like, oh, fuck, that's not a good spot. Also, I remembered when I Googled Mohs surgery, a lot of people get this on their nose. There's a lot of very scary images of the tip of the nose in Mohs surgery because I guess it's probably like a spot that, anyways. So I don't know if I have to get that yet. They did the biopsy. I'll find out in a week what the best plan of action is.
But both aren't great.
Yeah,
the other one is like a chemo cream.
Yeah, something like that. That burns and it doesn't sound
scabs
great.
over.
And might discolor my nose.
So, but I do feel better that you're in good hands. Like, you need to ask about the plastic surgeon. I mean, this is a place where everyone sitting there has had plastic surgery.
Yeah, so it was very jarring going in. For some reason, that waiting room was humming when I went in there. There were like 10 people, and you're in Beverly Hills, and I'm looking around, and felt like I was on a TV show. I was like, this is so ridiculous how much plastic surgery all these people have. It was kind of jarring and made me a little uncomfortable. Like, is this where I'm supposed to be? And then I went in, I met with the doctor, and the doctor couldn't have been great. And I felt like in such better hands than my old place.
Great.
They even mentioned, I think they did mention plastic surgery because they're like, and in some cases we might have to fill in which that's plastic surgery, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, we'll find out. It's on the tip of my nose, which is a bummer. Some people might remember I had a bandage on for like a month of videos before.
Well, and the other thing that is such a bummer is you're only 44.
Yeah.
And you've now had 2 skin cancers within 8 months.
So it's most likely, the doctor said, it's probably from my snowboarding days, and which makes total sense that it's on my nose. And I wasn't putting on sunscreen in high school, snowboarding every day.
Are you putting it on now religiously?
Yeah, so now what's interesting is I burn so much easier, and even... I guess, there's sunscreen that has like zinc in it, which is like literally blocking the rays versus the chemical reaction. I kind of have to wear that zinc kind to work at high altitude, I found out, to prevent, like, even high SPF of the other kind doesn't seem to work. So yeah, I'm very on it.
But you use that Elta MD every day, like here?
Yeah.
You put it on, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And now, I mean, let's be honest, I was probably at like 70%, but this was a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Anyways,
By the way, that Ulta MD sunscreen that we use on our face, I love it. I've tried a lot of different facial sunscreens.
It's really nice.
It's my favorite. You can buy that through our Amazon store.
Oh, that's
if someone's wanting to check that out.
How do you get to the Amazon store?
So on Instagram, there's a link tree in our bio, and you can click on that, and then it'll take you there.
But getting back to the sex thing for a minute, I was like, I feel like I made a pass at you the other day when forgetting that I had like the Band-Aid on my nose. And it's like, it's a non-starter for you, sort of, right? Like,
well,
you can't.
It's funny. Like, remember how I was kind of under the weather a few weeks ago, and you were like, I was being a little spicy, and you were like, I want you to be infirmed or like feeble. What was the word you used?
Invalid?
Invalidy.
Yeah.
Like, the opposite is true for you. If it seems like you're like feebled in any way, or it doesn't feel right to
It's unattractive for you. That's what you're really trying to say. And I think what's interesting is if my nose became deformed, it would affect you more than me probably. Because I'm kind of clueless walking through the world
you're
about
not
my face.
seeing it.
I went to the delicatessen with the bandage on my nose. I didn't care. I went to Neiman Marcus to get the perfume sample. I didn't care. I went grocery shopping after that.
Honestly,
I just own it.
Neiman's seen so many nose jobs walk in there that they probably don't even give it a second thought.
That is a very good point. I did feel like people were kind of pity nice to me that day at all these stores.
Yeah.
Just...
You don't need to worry about, if this is a long-term situation, if your nose becomes deformed, of course I'm still going to love you and have sex with you.
But it is, I think it will be harder for you though. And I think I'm okay with you admitting that out loud.
I don't think so. I think I'd get used to it. I do. It does make me sad.
You're like, let's experiment with masks or something cool. I've always had this fantasy.
No, it makes me sad because you have such a handsome face. You have such a great nose. But I do think you're in good hands. I think it's all going to be fine. It's just a matter of time. And it is a bummer that you had to spend like several months with like bandages and like stuff on your nose.
It was kind of, that really was. I did look pretty ridiculous for a long time.
Yeah.
So in this on the tip of my
And I
nose.
am concerned about it honestly scares me a little bit.
Well, the good news about all of these things, so whatever the first one I had, which is not a scary skin cancer, but what I have on the tip of my nose is even less scary than that one.
Oh, okay.
Like they both need to be addressed and like taken care of.
Yeah.
So it's not like I can ignore it, but
yeah, squamous cell carcinoma and then basal cell carcinoma.
Are you fucking with me right now?
No.
Why didn't you correct me on how to say it before?
Because I
Are you no serious? Did you Google it while we were doing this?
I haven't Googled anything.
Stop it. Why did you do that? Did you not remember back then, or did you just? I was like asking. I was asking for help. You could have thrown me the life, whatever thing ring.
Raft. Yeah. I don't know. I just wanted to move on from it. Everyone knew what you were talking about.
But you could have just corrected it.
I don't know. I just didn't.
That's unattractive behavior to me.
Okay.
Okay, wait. Oh, this is so dumb. Can you give me 30 seconds to tell people how to take care of their cast iron skillet? Because people have been asking.
Yes.
This is how I do it. Other people will say, some people say don't use soap. Some people say soap's okay. This is how I do it. After you cook in your cast iron skillet, rinse it off.
With water?
Just water. I just use water, rinse the stuff off, then throw some kosher salt in it, and with a paper towel, rub the kosher salt around. That'll get all the food out.
Has to be kosher?
Because it's that like coarse salt, right?
Oh, yeah. It sops up like...
It scrapes the stuff away.
Yeah.
Right? And then after that, I throw it on the burner, medium heat for 60 seconds.
How do you dispose of the salt?
I just put it down the sink. I wonder if that's bad.
And do you rinse it?
Yeah, then rinse all the salt out.
Okay,
yeah,
with water.
Yeah, and then put it on a burner, medium heat for 60 seconds. Turn off the burner, spray some canola oil on it, and wipe it, and then you're done. And I do that every time, and it is so fast and so easy to clean the skillet, and it just gets easier and easier and easier.
That sounds, it sounds like many steps.
But it's not, and it's actually, it gets fast.
And using like dish soap is like death to cast iron.
So there are some camps that are like, that's kind of bullshit. So, but I am in the camp that's like, no, soap has never touched my cast iron skillet.
Okay.
Why? See, what? Did you hear yourself? You just were like, and there's some that are like, death. It's death not to do that. And I'm like, yeah, there's that camp, but like, I don't do it. It's never touched mine. And you're like, okay.
It's funny. That just reminded me of, it's kind of funny. This is all coming full circle.
I know this is a bad segue you're making, I feel like.
Well, I was just thinking about coffee and how, it's such a part of a ritual for me also. and is kind of the way I treat myself. If I'm like having a day where it's hard to get up and at 'em, I'm like, ooh, maybe I'll go get an iced coffee and whatever. And there's this annoying coffee shop in our neighborhood that I wrote down something I overheard there the other day. It's so annoying, these places, these like hipster places. Now, some I like I love La Mille, and that's a real treat for me to go to La
love that
Mille.
La Mille
I
coffee in
love
Silver
that
Lake.
coffee. Whew. Okay, this place though, it's like these cool guys, and they all have like mustaches. Like they all did Movember, I'm sure. And
Oh gosh, so horrible that they're raising money for a good cause.
what does that raise money for?
A good cause, I forget which one. It's like a cancer thing.
Okay, great. Good. But then they were like, you know what? I'm going to keep it. And now I'm going to have a handlebar, that sort of guy.
No, but some mustaches are cool right now.
I actually do like mustaches. But the way these guys wear it as their entire personality is what I take issue with. I don't have a beef with mustaches.
Hey, shout out our buddy Brad, who has the best mustache.
Yes. Shout out Brad.
He pulls off a great mustache.
Great stash.
He's got an enviable mustache.
But
a normal mustache.
And yes, I really admire his mustache.
Me too.
Okay.
Just putting that out there.
So this is the other thing is like you're in line and it's one of these places. Now I also, everything about this place I admire except that it's all together in this place. I admire kind of the slower pace of life. I admire the like French way of living. Let's have a meal and not like rush, off.
What's slow about just the service?
This place, yes. It's like they want to talk to every single person and like get into it about everything. And it drives me...
The customers?
Yes. It drives me nuts.
Give an example.
Okay. I will. I was in line.
You heard them talking to another customer,
Yes.
an employee talking to another customer.
I'm waiting. I have my AirPods in. I'm just like, I just want to get this goddamn coffee in my veins. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, what are they fucking talking about? They're laughing. Like, stop.
This is right in front of you?
Right in front of me.
Okay.
I take my AirPods out, and the guy is saying, gentle sweet or spicy sweet? Well, this one has some cardamom in it. Those were the words that came out of his mouth. And I was just like, well, fuck. I wanted to bail, but then I got up there. But I just don't have the bandwidth for that.
Okay. This is a rant I could imagine myself doing. And I think we're seeing a theme with you. Like, I do think we're seeing a transformation of you.
Oh, okay.
Like, into a little more crotchety, like, you also, like, because here's the thing. You're the one that, like, almost didn't take their AirPods out. Okay?
I know.
That's judging the guy that's, like, probably a regular, that having his day brightened because this is a nice... like interaction happening in the neighborhood.
Want some cardamom.
Which and plus talking about were they laughing about the cardamom or they were small talking before that?
I don't know. They were not laughing about the cardamom. They were laughing about something else. But okay, I hear what you're saying that I'm turning into a crotchety gal. I feel like all of this, when you talked about rage guy, like I'm like, I could see myself snapping at that intersection and going fucking ballistic. Like, I could see myself throwing my phone at a car because I'm, like, snapping.
Yeah. This I find attractive, by the way.
Okay. But I want to counterbalance this, and this is kind of gross that I'm saying this, but I want you to know this.
Yeah.
That same visit to that coffee shop, I bought a hot drip coffee and a croissant and went and left it for the homeless person or the unhoused person who was on my walk back who I had passed.
Right.
Like, I'm not a monster who's not doing... And I did that yesterday, by the way.
There's different layers to you.
You know what I did yesterday for an unhoused person? They seemed so stoked. I was walking I had lunch with my agent, and I was walking to, which I think is, it's allowed right now to have lunch. I hope it is.
With your agent?
Yeah.
Yeah, your
totally.
agent, right?
Yeah. We weren't talking about, plans or anything. We weren't hatching plans. We were just catching up. I love my agent.
Yeah.
I was walking. We went to Cara in Los Feliz, and I was walking back up to my car.
I consider that Hollywood.
Oh, okay. Sure. And an unhoused person asked me if I had any money, and I didn't have cash, and so I went to my car, but I had snagged some snacks from the picket line.
Yeah.
Because they have great snacks.
Yeah.
And when I was looking through that, I also found I had a packet of hand warmers all the way back from the wintertime at the cabin.
Right.
It was still in my bag.
Uh-huh.
And I took that and the snacks to him. And I was like, and these are hand warmers. And he was like, oh, like they have at the hospital. Oh, this is great.
Oh, that's cool.
Like seemed stoked. And I was like, that might be a nice thing for people to, they're really cheap. You can buy them in boxes of like 100 and to have on you to hand out. And so this is a long way also of just getting some karma points, because I know you see me right now as I'm morphing into like kind of an
just
asshole.
Interesting to see what like upsets you lately, which is all things that always grind my gears. One last quick coffee thing for you, and I'm sorry to like put the
twist
the screw. I felt like entered a Starbucks rebirth for a minute, because like at a grocery store, I was even getting like a decaf latte and you were getting it. I'm just curious, were those hitting right? Was it fun to get Starbucks iced coffee for a minute?
Yes, and also you get to get like a bucket of iced coffee. Like they're large. That's what I've been doing lately. And honestly, to your point about being like, oh, maybe I feel so much better. I'm not there yet, obviously, but I do think coffee had kind of gotten away from me recently with the Starbucks. I was having like a venti iced coffee. And the other day, I think there's a size even bigger than venti.
No shit.
And that they use for like big, I don't know, teas or something.
Okay.
And they were like, we don't have that size. Can we use this? And so it was like, it was like a big gulp.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been hitting it very hard, and I'll hit it, while picketing. I'll be like, ooh, a little treat for myself, but. So maybe
it's funny,
this
you
is
don't
a
even
good...
make them sweet or anything though. It's like it is really a caffeine treat for you. I mean, I know you enjoy the flavor of it.
I love the taste.
Yeah, you do enjoy
the on the Starbucks thing, there's a thing that says that first sip feeling. And I really resonate with that. Like it is that first sip hits so good.
Yeah. Nice. Okay. Cool.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Check us out on patreon.com/Nobody's Listening Right. You can find us on Instagram at Nobody's Listening Right. And our link tree is there to our Amazon shop and all of our
sorts
other
of other
stuff.
fun stuff, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good night.
Good night.